This is Buckley versus Buckley. I've said before, if you can't laugh at the things you love, you don't deserve to laugh at the things you hate. Some days, I'm not sure which of those two categories my own videos fall under. But anyway, it's been 8 years since my 420 video, and in those 8 years, some massive changes have happened. Numerous states have decriminalized or completely legalized marijuana, either for medical or recreational use, including everyone's favorite 51st state, Canada. Yes, in 2019, Canada made marijuana completely legal to buy and consume for recreational use. We were apparently the first G7 and G20 nation to do this. We're all so very proud. But so, in 8 years, the world's view on the wacky tobacco has changed quite a bit. Has Buckley's? Let's find out. And a Facebook friend of mine mentioned 420 in a status that I couldn't resist trolling. Not sure why we're all celebrating Hitler's birthday and the anniversary of Columbine, but hey, to each their own, I guess, says playful old Buckley, intentionally ignoring the obvious weed reference to remind everyone that one of history's worst human beings was born on this day in 1889, and 110 years later, 2 fuckheads shot up a school. And it took literally minutes for someone to take the bait. I'm celebrating marijuana, not Hitler or Columbine. Thank you. Maybe they should celebrate by buying a keyboard with a shift key. But anyway, celebrating marijuana. Celebrating drugs. What a fucking loser. Pretty harsh statement. So harsh that the boys from the Drunken Peasants podcast, that's the Amazing Atheist and whoever Scotty is, got pretty upset about it during a reaction video.
Right.
However, I still think people who would celebrate the fact that they are drug users are pieces of shit.
Okay.
Why?
That's stupid.
For the same reason I would think an alcoholic celebrating their love of beer or whiskey or whatever they drink is a piece of shit.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with any of this?
Yeah, you're stupid for celebrating drugs.
You're stupid for liking things I don't. Oh.
Not only are you stupid, but you're a piece of shit.
You're a piece of shit.
Hey guys, I think I touched a nerve. This clip is a good representation of the 20+ minutes they spent talking about my video. No clever retort or anything, just yelling things in a different voice, while the Amazing Atheist looks like he's gonna fall out of his chair. Maybe he needs something to calm his nerves. But anyway, I wonder if I did this video today if I'd put it quite as harshly, calling people fucking losers and pieces of shit. I mean, yes, I still do kind of feel this way, but it's more of a, that's kind of sad feeling than anger. I made the joke in my most recent weekend video about how people who take Tylenol don't have blacklight posters of it in their bedrooms or whatever, but that's always been my thing. I just see the whole weed culture thing being goofy as hell now. And I think one of the biggest things I was hoping for with legalization would be the end of the whole 420 blaze it nonsense, where people just smoke when they want to and be normal about it. And for the most part, yeah, it kinda has been. At least my own observations of it. Nowadays, if you hear someone say, 420 bro, it's done mockingly or ironically, making fun of the people who used to be like that, or maybe even making fun of their past selves. Now that being said, I don't know if these celebrations still happen for it now that it's been legalized because, as I said, weed was legalized here in Canada in 2019. Late 2019, actually. So the first celebration post-legalization would have been April 20, 2020. Well, there's a little pandemic thing going on. And here in Canada, it's still going on. No large gatherings are allowed anywhere. So the people who have Canadian flags with pot leaves on them, who have white boy dreads, and who celebrate weed culture haven't had a normal 420 since legalization. Poor people who base their entire personality on a drug. They really just can't catch a break. But I do need to admit to something I was wrong about in the video. You can bet they'd protect their investment and still bust personal grow ops. No way if it's ever legal, you'll be able to grow your own. They're gonna want you to buy it. Just like how you're not legally allowed to manufacture and sell your own cigarettes, which are completely legal to buy now. Oh, Buckley, you stupid beaver fucker. You got another prediction wrong. Sort of. So, in Canada, you're allowed to grow 4 plants per household for personal use. You're allowed to share up to 30 grams with another person. You can't sell weed to someone else, you can't buy it from your friends, and breaking the laws that still exist can result in up to 14 years in prison. That sounds like protecting their investment to me. Colorado lets you grow a maximum of 12 plants per household, but again, you can't sell it, you also can't grow it outside, and if you have anyone under 21 living in your home, it must be grown in a locked room. So I was wrong, with an asterisk. The rest of the video talks about addiction, debunking the idea that chemical addiction is the only addiction that exists, and talks about how weed isn't good for you, it's just less bad for you than, say, perks and opioids, which I've never smoked in my life, but if I was in an accident or something and suffered a chronic injury, chronic bro, and I had a choice, which I'm Canadian, so I suppose I do, I'd choose marijuana over perks. I've seen what perks do to people as well. The opioid crisis is fucking out of control right now. So, celebrating your dependency on a drug, being passionate about a drug, observing a holiday where you do drugs, I think that's pretty fucking pathetic. As pathetic as if any other substance abusers created a holiday for themselves to try and justify what they do as a popular activity that there's nothing wrong with. Conversely, I think people who use St. Patrick's Day as an excuse to get blackout shit-faced are pretty pathetic too. Especially when it's the same people who get blackout shit-faced every weekend anyway, and likely the average person who's excited about 420 is someone who doesn't need another excuse to get high, they were gonna do it that day anyway. So again, harsh words. I've been pretty harsh toward addicts over the years. Right, Corey Monteith? Oh right, he can't answer. But again, I think for me, this has just moved from anger to sadness. I'd like to see these people solve the issues that lead them to this. Like, I worked with a guy years ago who got high in the morning before work, then at lunch would go out to his truck to smoke again, saying, "Yeah, I can't make it through the day without this." It was the least stressful job I ever had. We reconditioned computers for schools. A huge pile of them would come in from businesses that donated them. We'd make sure they work, wipe the hard drives with special software that made it impossible to recover the data, install an OS on them, and clean them up. We had a TV hooked up, and every day at 1 p.m., we'd watch whatever the afternoon movie was that some local TV station played while we worked. There were no deadlines, we were always way ahead of demand, had like 100 computers ready on the shelf at any given time. And this guy couldn't make it through the day without being high? That's a guy who needed to sort out his life, figure out what was causing him so much stress and anxiety, and work on cutting that out of his life. And I get that it's just not that easy sometimes. I really do. But is it really better to just walk around in a fog all the time? To be afraid to have to face the world sober? Anyway, the video ends with one last shot at people celebrating it. Happy 420 though. Have fun celebrating your weakness by getting high. Again. Oh man. I just can't understand why people thought I was some overly right-wing conservative commentator. I don't get it. Looking back, I think some of this is hyperbole for the sake of comedy. But yes, I still think celebrating 420 is stupid. Maybe not fucking loser stupid, just why are you a walking stereotype stupid? The same way as I mentioned in the video that I think St. Patrick's Day and the whole green beer and leprechaun stuff is nonsense. You like to smoke? Then smoke. Enjoy. But do it because you enjoy it. Not because you hate life so much that you can't enjoy it without smoking. And also, don't buy a shirt that says Happy Halloween or Stone to the Bone. You deserve to get made fun of for that. This is Buckley versus Buckley, where no matter what, Buckley always wins.